Student Financial Aid Scheme in 2016 now have a chance to submit their application. Students who wish to study at tertiary level now have until the 20th of January to apply. Now, Kagisho Mamabolo, the spokesperson for NSFAS, joins us from Cape Town. A very good morning to you, Kagisho. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, are you expecting more applications, seeing that the means test is abolished and the extension date for applications?
Good morning, Simpiwe. Indeed, we are expecting more applications. In fact, the decision for us to extend the applications or to reopen the applications is to at least accommodate those who might have missed the opportunity last year when we closed in November the 30th. We do understand that there are those that have passed matric, secured space at universities and colleges, but have missed the NSFAS opportunity.
Talk us through about the means test. What exactly is it?
It is really a tool that we use as NSFAS to actually determine eligibility. Commercial banks will use a means test tool to actually see if you can afford to repay back a bank loan, whereas we use it to see if you cannot afford your higher education. We look at your income basically, and then your financial need. Your income should be below 120,000 threshold, but that doesn't mean that if your income is actually about 150, you'll be excluded. But it's basically a threshold that we actually use to first assess those that must be prioritized within the applicant.
Do you know how many students applied in 2016 for the 2017 academic year?
In terms of the NSFAS funding?
Yes.
We're standing at 375,000 applications at the moment, and I think slowly we are approaching 400,000. I mean, in a year, NSFAS do fund more than 400,000 students a year.
And what's the target for this year?
Well, our target is actually aligned with enrollment figures of the universities and colleges. For as long as there is sufficient spaces and students have qualified and have admitted, we will have an obligation as the funding scheme to ensure that they are funded.
And I'm guessing it's also aligned with the recovery plan that is currently taking place. You've mentioned that about 14 billion rand still hasn't been recovered from students who completed their studies. So what's the situation now?
Well, the situation now is really to work closely with private companies because those companies are the ones that actually can give us a gateway, in starting to negotiate with our debtors. Government has given us access to the payroll system where government employees are able to start repaying back easily. But the challenge here is those that are employed in private sector. About 70% of our debtors are in private sector, and we require a positive consent in order for us to start doing that. SARS has come on board, has agreed to give us non-financial information, so we are able to know where they work, where they stay, even their contact details, which will speed up the process of tracing and negotiations. And we've also brought 2 companies that will help us with debt collection.
And how much does NSFAS have currently to help needing students?
Remember, last year we had about 10 billion, and later on 14.5 billion was added to our pairs. And this year we do hope that that money will increase, but it's also the mandate of the Minister of Higher Education and Training who will announce how much money we are getting. And from the medium-term budget speech by the Minister, last year we heard that there will be a slow increase into the NSFAS funding to ensure that students are funded. So we are set to get more increase into our budget this year.
All right, and briefly, how will the so-called missing middle be assisted?
Missing middle is very important, but obviously it's not the project that NSFAS really is focusing on. It is a project of the Department of Higher Education and Training, obviously involving our chairperson. So they will be assisted by government, where government will directly pay the institutions for the money that will assist directly the missing middle. It's not really money that NSFAS will manage.
All right. Kagisho, as always, great having you on Morning Live. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, that was Kagisho Mamabolo from the NSFAS. Now to the students who have missed the date to apply for financial aid from NSFAS in 2016, now have until the 20th of January 2017 to apply. Now NSFAS encourages students to apply online as it saves time in the application process. For more information, you can visit NSFAS website on www.nsfas.org.za. It's www.nsfas.org.za for more information. Well, Morning Live takes a short coffee break. We'll be back with more after this.